Slowing down your biological age. Can you slow down your aging? I'm Hamza Aziz, creator and producer of the Talking with Docs podcast. From the team behind the YouTube channel, this podcast goes deep even further. Today, we're exploring how to slow down your biological age and keep your body younger.
Do you want to make yourself younger? This is how you do it.
Who doesn't?
Well, yeah, you're right. Well, maybe the dummy in the background,
Maybe.
because he doesn't age.
He doesn't age, timeless.
I'm Dr. Paul Salazar.
I'm Dr. Brad Weaning. Welcome to Talking with Docs.
So we're going to do a journal club today. This is an article that was just published February this year.
Yeah.
Okay, it's hot off the press.
Yeah.
And it talks about what you can do to reduce your biologic age. You can't do anything with your chronologic age, because
Sure.
that's just time.
Yeah.
But your biologic age is how old you are biologically. You
Right.
can slow that down.
And we're talking like at the level of your DNA.
Well, not just above your DNA, actually, but just your organs, your tissues, your skin, your cells.
Yes.
Okay, and this after reading this article, I actually changed sort of what I do.
Oh, really?
Yes, this changed what I do.
Okay.
You know, most things don't.
Okay, I like that.
Very rarely, but this actually does change.
Okay.
One of the things I do.
Okay.
All right. So the article is
Here we go.
called "Individual and Additive Effects of Vitamin D, Omega-3, and Exercise on DNA Methylation Clocks of Biological Aging in Older Adults from the Do Health Trial." This was published in Nature Aging. Do you read Nature Aging?
I don't. I just read Nature.
This is really?
No.
Oh, there is a journal, Nature.
Yes.
No, this is Nature Aging.
Yes.
It's a slow burn.
Okay.
Except if I would have changed the name to the effects of vitamin D, omega-3, and activity, just because it rhymes.
Sure. Oh, yeah. That would have been
But
better.
that's probably why
Yeah.
they didn't ask me to be on this paper.
Maybe.
Okay, so this paper,
There might be some other reasons.
probably because I'm not smart like that.
No,
Is
it's
that
not
what
your
you're saying?
area of expertise, per se.
It's not. It's
Okay.
not. But there are experts from all over the world.
Okay.
We have like Switzerland, France, the UK,
Yeah, European.
USA as
Yeah.
well,
Okay.
Harvard. So there's a collection of authors who put this paper together.
Okay.
And if you look, always you look at the biases, right? Are these people being paid by supplement
Yeah.
companies? Are they being paid by vitamin D companies? Are they
Right.
being paid by exercise? No.
No.
No, it didn't seem like
Which
there
is
was any
nice.
conflicts of interest.
I agree.
So we can really take this for face value.
Okay.
All right. So
Having said that, I would say even researchers, though,
Here we go.
have a little bit of a, not a bias, but like when you're doing research, you want to find something. You don't want to spend 6 years and have like a null result, which is a result.
Yeah.
But I think, having done some research, you want to find
Yeah.
something significant so that you have a paper so that you've contributed to the scientific community. So I think there is still in here, it's just not financial.
Yeah.
And I think it's less nefarious, kind of.
why don't you like these people?
I do like that. I'm just going to say.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
So having said that,
Yeah.
the way they do it, how do you measure the effect if something, a variable, is affecting aging?
Okay.
Right. There's no gold standard for aging.
No.
I mean, if you did, it would kill you to do it.
Yeah,
It would kill you to do the study
literally.
because you'd have to follow people for like 40, 50, 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
And the investigator would probably die during the time of the study.
And you have to control so many variables. It would be very difficult.
It's difficult.
Yeah,
So they
it's
need
not impossible.
something as a surrogate to measure aging.
Okay.
Okay. And there is.
The field of epigenetics?
Epigenetics. They use, well, the field of epigenetics is fascinating and covers
Yeah.
a lot of things, but they use
Yeah.
they exploit epigenetic markers
Yeah.
to create these biological clocks.
Yes.
Okay, so what is epigenetics?
Okay.
Epi from the Greek word above or on top. Do you speak Greek?
No.
You sure?
Sometimes if I go to a Greek restaurant, I order in English.
Okay.
Baklava.
Is that Greek?
I think it is.
Yeah.
It's a delicious dessert, actually.
Euros?
Yeah, I think
Probably.
so. Yeah.
So epigenetics, okay, so it's on top of or above genetics. So you can't change your genes, okay?
No.
Well, I mean, your genes you can,
Yes.
Geans,
Yes.
and hopefully you do eventually and periodically, but your
Yeah.
genes in your body, you can't change them, and those are what represent everything that you look like and
Of course.
everything, right?
Yeah.
But think about it. You have the same genes in you now than you did when you were 12 or when you were 18.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
And while you're still quite handsome, you're not that fine stud you were when you were 18 years
Wow,
old.
thank you.
But you still have the same genes.
Yes.
So why is that?
Wow.
Epigenetics.
Right.
Epigenetics are kind of like, to me, the quantum mechanics of biology because they explain some weird and wonderful stuff. So what
Starting
it
to
is,
lose people.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I losing you? Listen, epigenetics are the things that turn on or off your genes, okay? They're the things that control whether your genes express themselves or don't express themselves.
Right.
All right, that's epigenetics.
Yeah.
And so those epigenetics can be influenced by factors like the environment, what you eat, smoking,
Yep.
and aging.
Yep.
All right, and it really is cool because epigenetics is kind of the basis of that nature versus nurture.
Yep.
Like they did studies where they took some mice, gave them a stimuli, and then like shocked them or something. I don't condone this, but somehow it passed in ethics. And then so they were, the mice were like, okay, afraid of this odor or this stimuli.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Their offspring had the same fear,
Sure.
even after never
Interesting.
been exposed to that. And then the offspring's offspring also did.
Right. So it's built into there.
So that is the epigenetics being passed on from one
Because they
generation.
didn't learn it.
They didn't learn it,
It's
but they
there.
knew it
Yes.
because their parents learned it.
Sure.
So that's huge
Hardwired.
implications in trauma, right? If
Sure.
you've experienced trauma or stress,
Yeah.
you can pass that on to your offspring
Interesting.
unknowingly. They used to think that the epigenetics were wiped out with the sperm and the egg,
Yeah.
but apparently they're not.
Sounds like it.
So the epigenetics, although the genes, you pass your genes on, those you can't change.
Okay.
But what genes you turn on and off can be through epigenetics.
Okay. What did this paper tell us about how we can
Okay.
actually reduce our age?
So first of all, in order to know that, you have to accept the fact that these biological clocks are a good surrogate for aging.
Okay.
Do you accept that?
Yeah. Nothing's perfect, but I think
No.
it's as good as we got.
Yeah,
And I think sometimes actually you have to go with that.
Exactly, because there's no go saying.
Yeah.
So if these biological clocks do represent biologic aging, which I believe they do to a certain degree,
Okay.
then it turns out that there's additive effects of taking an omega-3 supplement. In this study, they used
Yes.
1,000 milligrams,
Yep.
vitamin D,
Yes.
2,000 international units,
Yes.
and exercise.
Yep.
30 minutes, they did 3 times a week of a simple home strengthening exercise program.
Yeah.
And they found that they could reduce biologic aging. I think it was on the ballpark of about a month a year.
Right. Which is
you get-
significant.
That's what's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's
like
not like you're
8%.
doubling the life. It's a reasonable amount. That's
Right.
what makes it believable.
Sure.
This was randomized. It was placebo controlled.
And this is kind of what Brian Johnson did. We did that other video
Yeah.
about the guys doing like as many things possible, just all of them adding tiny little things that are
Yes.
slowly reducing, essentially age. It's not making you younger. It's essentially you age less quickly, really.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're still going to age, but your
Yeah.
chronologic age is on a line.
Yeah.
And then if you smoke, drink, eat poorly,
Yeah.
your biologic age is going to increase faster than your chronologic age.
Yeah.
Chronic age, chronological.
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 Yeah, you got an extra
Chron-
C.
chrono. I threw a syllable in there
That's right.
for effect.
That's right. It worked.
Your chronologic age.
There we go.
If you slow down that chronologic
I'm getting older right now.
chronologic age, if
Yeah.
you slow down that chronologic
Yes.
age, that's a bonus for you, right?
Right.
And so apparently and even omega-3 alone
Right.
did it, but there is an additive effect of doing those 3 things. So vitamin D,
Yeah.
omega-3, and activity. That's what you remember.
That's
So
a
it
nice little
rhymes,
rhyme.
right?
And we kind of had an idea about this before. We've talked about typically things that are anti-inflammatory, antioxidant in nature
Right.
usually have health benefits, and now we're essentially measuring them on their ability to reduce our rate of aging.
Exactly.
So we've talked before about the pillars of health, and these have all been implicated. So nutrition,
Yeah.
exercise, sleep, stress reduction, substance avoidance, and social connection. These all reduce those things, which help you live longer and live healthier. So
Yes.
improve not only your health span, but potentially your lifespan is what we're talking about now.
And now what I've learned is how do these things do it?
Yeah.
And one mechanism by which those things do it is your
Yes.
epigenetics,
Right.
which is what they use to measure your biologic age.
Yeah, and like at kind of more the cellular level, what they think some of it is that methylation. They talk about how
DNA.
as we age, DNA gets methylated at a certain level, and we typically have less methylation as we get older. But depending on whether it's methylated or not methylated, it's not always less and it's not always more.
Yeah.
But some genes are, say, like a tumor suppressor gene. This is a gene that our bodies have developed over time to be active to reduce the risk of getting a cancer. So if that gene becomes less active because of its degree of methylation, increases your risk of getting a cancer. Similarly, something called an oncogene, which actually is designed to make a tumor, not by your body, but because of mistakes that have happened, we have ways to keep that lower levels of activity, and if methylation alters that, then this has a higher chance of making a tumor. So a lot of it relates to cancer and other dangerous processes that prevent DNA repair or DNA synthesis, that kind of stuff.
See, I'm losing them?
Yeah.
You thought I was losing
I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. And the way that the methylation does it, for example, Not to oversimplify.
Which is just a carbon and 3 hydrogens.
That's it.
Yeah.
And not to oversimplify it, but to oversimplify it, it just sort of squishes the genes so that the information can't be read,
Yes.
transcribed to messenger RNA, go into the ribosome and make a protein out of it.
Right.
So you just sort of cover, squish, change the shape of the gene
Yeah.
so that it can't be read. It's the same thing I do when I try and assemble furniture. I take the instruction manual, I'll squish it and sit on it
So you don't
instead
use
of
it.
reading it. I try and do
Really?
it myself. My wife's like, why don't you use
Why
the
don't you
instruction?
just read it?
I say, no, I think I can figure it out.
Just read it.
Right? If that's like methylation of the instruction manual. Other ways that epigenetics work is they tag the genes or whatever, different ways, different mechanisms to stop that gene from being expressed or to encourage it being expressed more.
Right. So the take home is that, yeah, you know what? If you were thinking about vitamin D and omega-3s, you should consider them. I think there's good scientific evidence that's going to help you. Exercise, obviously, it's going to help you. Other things that have been looked at in this epigenetic pathway and ways to reduce your biological age, one would be caloric restriction or
Yes.
intermittent fasting. There's
Yes.
pretty good evidence to show that this helps you. Not from a weight loss perspective. This is certainly controversial, and people like to argue about what the best diet or the best way to eat or best way to control your calories is to lose weight. But reducing your calories below your level that you require for the day or a deficit is actually good for you.
Yeah, because it's its role in insulin production, and we know that insulin in your blood is bad for you at
Yeah.
high levels for long periods of time. So going hungry, as a species, like in North America, we're rarely hungry.
Agreed.
But as a species,
never.
we should spend some time being hungry.
Yes.
Most animals do, right? So that's why that intermittent fasting or caloric reduction helps
Yep.
reduce your aging.
Another one is a couple of different plant polyphenols. We've talked a lot about them before with their ability to be antioxidants and anti-inflammatory components. Fisetin and quercetin, these are some supplements that have been available. Another one that people have talked about is metformin.
Yeah,
We've
so
talked
we
about
did a video-
metformin.
We did do a video about metformin to reduce your age. But in this article, those are the three things. So for me,
Yep.
what it changed for me is, I the only supplements I take is a vitamin D, a multivitamin, sometimes a vitamin C. That's
Okay.
all I really take.
Right.
But now I take omega-3.
Yeah, I did before. But yeah.
Now it's easier because when I'm trying to remember what do I take vitamin D, vitamin C, omega-3. See how they rhyme?
Yeah, that doesn't make it
It's
easier.
easier when I go shopping.
Let's make it easier.
And a multivitamin.
Okay.
That one doesn't rhyme.
No. But now you know. Now you know a little bit about the field of epigenetics. It's been around since like the mid
We should do more
1900s.
videos on epigenetics.
And I think it's allowing particularly companies and healthcare practitioners that are trying to help people age successfully use this information to guide their treatment plans. And this is a really rapidly expanding area of healthcare. So obviously be a little bit careful because it is going to be a business, and go with people that are based in science. But yeah, if you're looking for ways to improve your health span and your lifespan, this is an area that's probably going to come
That's a
up.
good point. I like what you just said about health span, because a lot of people are going to make a comment and say, "Oh, I don't need to live forever. I don't want to
Right.
get silly trying to live forever.
Right.
It's vain to try and live forever. We shouldn't. The planet will die."
Yes.
When you're talking about reducing your biologic age, it's not necessarily talking about trying to live longer.
No.
It's trying to stay healthy longer.
Right.
Which is increasing your health span.
Yeah.
So that is one of the byproducts of reducing your biologic age compared to your chronologic age, is by staying healthy for longer or increasing your health span. So if you're thinking, I don't want to live forever, I don't want to live longer, just think, well, do I want to live healthier
Right.
for the years I have left?
When I think, obviously, everyone gets sick right before they die, right? So you want that period to be
Not
short.
everyone.
Well, no, but I
I
mean,
mean, if you're in a plane crash.
right, but you're sick for a very short period of time because of that accident, and then you die. Or a heart attack, right? My dad died of a heart attack spontaneously on a walk, had a heart attack, was dead in a very short period of time. So he didn't suffer. So ideally, I think people want to have their diseased time ultra compressed, right? You want to be healthy,
I see what you're saying,
and then
yes.
die quickly.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
say if you have like something
Yeah.
like diabetes or high blood pressure, you suffer for decades, or you have cancer for 6 or 7 years, heaven forbid, you have to suffer for a long period of time. I think most people would choose to be very sick for a very short period of time and,
Yes.
and then be healthy up until that point.
I
Do you know what I
think
mean?
so, yeah,
And I think that's what health span versus lifespan
Yeah.
kind of is.
And I think the medically assisted dying people would agree, because
Yeah.
I don't want to suffer anymore. That's
Sure.
it.
Wow, now you really brought something controversial in there.
You're dark.
If you
You're
were,
really dark.
no, that's not dark. I think we all want to have the best life while we can for as long as we can, and that's part of what our channel does.
Health span.
Yes. Leave a comment if you have any thoughts about lifespan, health span, epigenetics. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, share it with somebody who thinks it's useful, and also check out our podcast. Our podcast is over on Spotify, and it's coming to Apple soon.
Yeah, it's spotty.
Spotty.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's getting there. It's getting more
Okay.
stable.
There you go.
But yeah, and if you've had a aging hack,
Yes.
put in there. If you feel
That's
way
not-
older,
I like that.
If you feel way older than you are, leave a comment and say what you did wrong.
Okay.
If you feel way younger than you are, tell us what you've been doing.
Like that.
Other viewers will love it.
Okay.
Remember now, you are in charge of your own health, and you're in charge of how quickly you age.
Maybe you are. We'll see you next time.